Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here at the Tarot Tips. We are going to expand upon or kind of do a little reinterpretation of the previous video where we pulled a lot of cards, where we sort of told a story. This is going to have the similar narrative kind of quality, but whereas the previous video didn't have a structure, this one will. You could make up, it would be as if you were telling a story or a fairy tale. It's kind of a good idea to start with once upon a time, you know, whether you're talking about a relationship or a personal growth issue or whatever the situation is. In the previous video, we did a relationship kind of scenario. This time maybe we'll do something with a different topic, maybe a work issue. Let's see. So the thing that's similar to the previous video is that we're going to be using a lot of cards, and that we're not going to necessarily be asking questions, but we are going to be providing a framework by the lead in to pulling the cards. So once upon a time, we pull a couple cards, see what we see. Depending on what those say, we're going to fill in another sentence. You'll see how it unfolds. And like in the previous video, we are going to look for some sort of resolution here. We're going to get a sense of the process of the thing, and then how does it resolve itself. So the thing that's different from the other method is that this has a little bit more intention about what is it that we're looking for. It's got a little bit more structure in terms of what the cards are going to mean at the time that we pull them. So let's just learn by doing and go to the tarot table and tell ourselves a tarot narrative. Similarly to the other videos here, I like to start with a random pile on the table. If you decide you want to put all your cards in a single lined up deck and cut the cards and read the cards each time you cut them, that works. You know, whatever method of getting the cards in the layout that worked for you, that's the way to go about doing it. I like the kind of random pull idea here. So we're going to say once upon a time, and I guess I won't put a scenario up. We'll just look and see what happens. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, what did we have? Once upon a time, once upon a time, there was a very contented and happy person who liked their life very much. They had no desire to change things. They felt like things were just peachy keen. But then something happened. Let's say there was, let's make it like a fairy tale. The king in the kingdom died, and it made this person, let's say maybe this is somebody who was in the, let's say this is the prince. The king dies, and it creates a situation where the prince has to kind of get out of his comfort zone and go on a journey. So as you're telling yourself this story, see where the metaphor is in your life. See where there might be something relevant to your situation. Think about the story symbolically, maybe not literally, but symbolically. So here's somebody who was very comfortable. Somebody important to them died, and they had to leave their comfortable situation and go where? And what happened to them? He went to war. He didn't want to, but he enlisted in the army, or went to battle, and found that where he had traveled to, he could create a new life for himself. That where he was stationed or positioned, or where he needed to go for his next challenge, gave him an opportunity, even though he wasn't really looking for it, to find new skills and abilities that he had, find a new place to settle down. Let's see what else. What else is going on with this story? He became well known for his work, but tended to isolate himself because maybe because of his contentment with where he was before and his awareness about how that can be shattered, how that can change. Suddenly, it does look like he took his life very seriously. He created a strong niche for himself, but it does look here like he was guarded and protected himself emotionally. We saw those cups cards in the beginning, and now the cups, now it's turned into pentacles and sort of a serious tone. Where we started off, there was this very happy-go-lucky person, and now they're in a place of having created a new life for themselves, but maybe feeling a little isolated. So what happens next in the story? What happens next? People come to him, offering him, is that in the frame? No. His customers, Six of Pentacles, are very appreciative of him and his work. And they call on him to do what? He doesn't want to do it, Eight of Swords. He doesn't think he's capable, but he does get called upon to do something. To do what? To join somebody in a new community, to maybe come and live at somebody's new home. Maybe this is a new kingdom or something, but somebody's inviting him to come into a new situation, but he doesn't want to do it. I think he feels like he got burned back here, and he's not in a hurry to get himself in that kind of position again. Empress and the Lovers. But there is someone so kind and so loving and so warm to him, nurturing and supportive Empress there, that he doesn't let his own resistance, Eight of Swords, stand in the way of this very happy, comfortable situation here. So he goes into the new situation. Let's see what we see with that Sun card. I think we're going to stop while we're ahead there. And really finds a place for new happiness, new self-expression, a new level of contentment in his life where he's connected. I never say they lived happily ever after, but that's a nice resolution here of this little story. So if we're going to look at that as a metaphor, if we're going to say, well, what does that mean to my life, or what could that mean to me as a person with whatever I've got going on? Just as an example, we might say, okay, where, as things were going along in your life, did stuff happen that forced you into change? And how did you struggle with that initially? Seven of Wands. And maybe just try to get through day to day, Four of Pentacles. But then find a way to remake your life. And then is there a case where that led to you having developed certain abilities, certain skills, certain appreciation for yourself that you didn't have in the past? That would be these cards. And how ultimately did that get, will that or did that or can that get recognized by other people who would like to connect with that kind of energy, who would like to support that kind of energy, who would like to maybe be a part of that energy? And how can we often, it's so interesting to see even in this made-up story, this Eight of Swords, which is such a common card, how do we often look a gift horse in the mouth, or how do we often talk ourselves out of situations because we don't really understand how this could possibly, how is this going to work? I don't understand why they're doing this for me. resistance to change with that Eight of Swords. But in this story here, the person does overcome his own reluctance and resistance because of the acceptance and the kindness of whatever this is, and in that context finds new self-expression. So you would use the tarot narrative as a metaphor, as an analogy for opportunities and challenges that are going on in your life. All right, so that's creative. It's you have to kind of look at things in layers if you're going to use this method. But give it a try and see what sort of perspective you get that maybe you hadn't got through other sources. All right, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.